Don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Take the compliment for what it is. You don't need to tell me how much your skirt was at JCPenney and what route you took to get there. I like it. All you have to say is thank you.
Hey there, this is Unburdened by Hope, the podcast that helps you harness your possibility and fuel your purpose. I'm your host, Erin Cummings. Here, we're breaking free from the chains of hope and unlocking the power of inspiration within. Get ready to ignite your soul because we're diving deep into the art of letting go, embracing the unknown, and creating a life unburdened by the limitations of hope. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to finding purpose, fueling our passions, and crafting a vibrant existence that sets our hearts on fire. So, are you ready to burn it down what's no longer serving you and step into a life driven by possibility? Let's dive in, my friends, and unleash our boundless potential.
Welcome to podcast number 8. I'd love to hear, though, how celebrating the wins is going for you. Like, what big things did you celebrate last week? Was it something big? Was it making your bed? Was it actually putting your socks in the laundry basket? Or, maybe you actually ate your vegetables for a change. Maybe not. Who knows? But I would really love to hear like how celebrating the wins like helped you. There's a ton of research on like creating a gratitude practice and how like the gratitude practice can really change like the neurons. I think that's what it is. It's like the neurons in your brain, neurotransmitters. There's a ton of scientific research that's been done that proves like a gratitude practice can truly change your mindset. And so celebrating the wins is 100% part of that. And I would love to hear how that went for you and what you celebrated. So hit me up on email or Instagram. You can find all that information in the show notes. Shout out to the team for show notes. But this week I want to talk kind of pushing that maybe a little bit further, but this week's intention, are you ready? Don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Take the compliment for what it is. You don't need to tell me how much your skirt was at JCPenney and what route you took to get there. I like it. All you have to say is thank you. Same goes for me to you. You don't need to know the backstory of all the things, and you probably don't care. So that's the thing is like, I think a lot of us get so wrapped up and get excited about compliments. And it's like, if you've watched Friends, I think a compliment is like that episode where Ross is on the phone. He gets that call from Emily and he doesn't know what to do. And he picks up the lamp and hands it to Chandler. And Chandler's just like, what the hell? And I think sometimes that's a lot of us like happens in our brain and we get a compliment and someone's like, oh my God, I like your necklace. And then all of a sudden, like we're handed this lamp and we're like, what do I do? Where do I put it? What's going on? How do I turn it on? How do I set it down? And all of a sudden, like your brain just goes haywire and you're like, cool. Thanks. Yeah, my necklace. Let me tell you every detail about like what it's about. And the other person's like, okay, gotta go, psycho. So this week, the focus is just say thank you. Don't make it weird. So kind of going back, it's not that I learned how to do this. They kind of made it a point to not make it weird. Like they made it weird by not making it weird in yoga teacher training. So 900 years ago when I did yoga teacher training, there was a couple different aspects of teacher training in which you had to just kind of like let people celebrate you, which I thought was such a interesting thing at the time. And of course, like the stubborn rebel in me like didn't really want to listen or participate in that. And now I'm like, okay, like hindsight, I get what they were trying to teach. At the same time, at this point in time of like this aspect of these kinds of yoga teacher trainings were very like controversial, and well, now they're very controversial, and the dynamic and the power dynamic is very off, and definitely like super culty aspects of things. But there was 2 different trainings in which I remember at the time, like specifically about like getting a compliment and then just kind of like having to just like what they call like be, just like be with yoga. So one of them was like the second time I had gone, it was like the second training, and we had to like teach from an authentic place, which now I would be like, what does that even mean? And how can you judge me on it when you know what I mean? Like, you don't know my authentic self and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, like, let's not get me going on that, first of all. But secondly, they wanted you to teach a certain way. And once you completed it, they did like this big celebration for you. And when they did the big celebration for you, you were not allowed to celebrate yourself, which I think is so interesting, seeing as how last week we talked about celebrating the wins. And like this week, I'm talking about like letting someone else celebrate you. And originally, like, I didn't like that. Like, I didn't like that I had to just stand there and look at everyone clap for me. Like, it's like my birthday and people are singing at me. And like, what am I supposed to do? Why are you guys going to watch me breathe on a cake? Like, this shit is weird, And so, I didn't really like it. I also don't like being told what to do. So there's a lot of like wrapped up into that anyway. But yeah, so at the end of teaching, when you get done, you just stand there and you just stand there with like nice little doe eyes and let everyone clap for you. And if you clapped or moved, like the teacher would like grab your arms and set them like Barbie arms, like by your side, like locked and loaded, girls. And so you had to learn to just stand there. And then when I went back for this time I was part of the like assistant team for the trainings. So I was like a helper worker bee, so to speak. And there was a point in which like they acknowledged all of us on stage at the end of the week for all the hard work we did. And it was supposed to be the same thing where like you just stood there locked and guarded with like no emotion, just like big smile, take it all in. Thank you. Well, of course I didn't listen. And I kind of did like a little like arm wave and then was like side-eyed so hard, never to be asked back again because, I celebrated myself. But I think like at some point, it's like there needs to be like that's like too extreme. And then you have the other, and it's just like, okay, don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Like if someone does something nice for you this week, like notice it and don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Okay, real quick, I am interrupting myself just like someone with ADHD would, but I want to tell you we are doing a giveaway for the podcast. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to subscribe to the podcast, follow, whatever you call it. Please leave a review. If you could then screenshot the review and email it to me at info@erincummings.com. Almost forgot my name, as obviously I would. We will announce the winner each week on the podcast for the next few weeks. So we'll have a weekly winner, and I will send you an autographed copy of The Possibility Project and a special swag surprise, unreleased swag, podcast swag. You will get first exclusive grabs of that. So once again, subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review. Please send me a screenshot and we will pick a winner each week for the next couple of weeks and you can win some swag. All right, back to the show. I heard this quote the other day. I love Ryan Holiday's podcast, Daily Stoic. He does these really awesome, like daily intentional podcasts that coincide with his journal that he wrote and the book on Stoicism that he wrote. I'm obsessed with all things Ryan Holiday, but I think it was him. He like had said something to the effect of like, you can give flowers to someone and it's up to them whether to water them or not. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's not the complimenter, it's the person. It's like, I'm going to give these to you. You can water it or not. Just like, don't make it weird. Like, you don't need to make me a flower crown. You don't need to make me like petals of like, you don't need to write my name in the petals of the flowers. Like, don't make it weird. Water them or not. You know what I mean? Like, if I give you a compliment, water it or not. don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Move on. So there's a lot like wrapped up in this. I think obviously probably for a lot of us women, like, I mean, I can't speak for you. I can only speak for myself. Sometimes some compliments, like you don't know where they're coming from. My therapist would always say, like, you don't know people's intentions. And so sometimes you don't know like the authenticity of the compliment, and you don't know, this is where it's like becomes like holding a random lamp where you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I don't know what your intentions are. So like, I don't know how to respond. And I think this is where like, don't make it weird, just say thank you comes into play, because you can not make it weird. You can not assume an intention. Something I clearly work on very often is like, try not to assume intentions in others. And it's like, don't make it weird. Just say thank you. Like, I don't need to know if they're trying to be competitive, or I don't need to know if they're trying to one up me, or I don't need to know if like what their motivation is for this compliment. Maybe they just like my shoes. Like, maybe she just likes my shoes. And so I think the other thing too is like, as far as you saying thank you, don't make it weird. Same thing for if you're giving someone a compliment, like don't make it weird, just give them the compliment, like you don't need to do a whole song and dance about how you like their shoes. Just be like, "Hey, I love your shoes. They look great on you." And just like don't make it weird, just make someone's day. Such a great I sometimes feel like if I'm in a shitty mood and I see someone walk by who I like love their outfit, like I will go out of my way to tell them that like I love their outfit, because 9 out of 10 times, I mean, I can't actually, this is like the toothpaste scenario, which is like, why would the fourth dentist not agree on this toothpaste? Like, what is wrong with this toothpaste so much that this fourth dentist is like so anti this toothpaste? So like, take this unverified stat of 9 out of 10 people that I just said, like their face just changes, their body language, their whole demeanor just changes if you're just like a person who's genuinely like, "Oh my God, I like your shoes." And that person's just like, "Wow." But then it's like, don't make it weird, just say thank you, like just say thanks and like keep going. And I think you'll really notice this week, it's one of those things that we get wrapped up into a lot, like kind of like the like saying sorry for random stuff. I think you'll notice this week too, if you really kind of like abide by this, don't make it weird, just say thank you. I think you'll really notice when you do make shit weird when someone tells you something. Like if someone compliments you, or someone like if you're out to dinner with a friend and your friend's like, "Oh, I got it, no problem." And it's like, don't make it weird, just say thank you. Like, we don't need to do the song and dance about creating a second dinner so you can then pay for whatever. Like, don't make it weird, just say thank you. Like, it's just, I just got you French fries. Like, I didn't buy you a car. You know what I mean? Like, it's French fries. Don't make it weird. Just say thank you. So, this week, as you're working on just like getting back to a new routine of whatever it is, and if someone gives you a compliment, all you have to do is say thank you. Don't make it weird. Be weird in a good way, and you're courageous, capable, and strong. Normal, funny, weird stories. But yeah, don't be weird. Just say thank you. Thank you. Just like no, just like yes. Thank you is a full and complete sentence too, and don't forget it. So let me know how this week goes. Don't make it weird. Just send me a message on how it's going. And I'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening to Unburdened by Hope. Go to your favorite podcast app, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a review. If you got something out of our show, I'd love to hear from you. Send me your favorite takeaway or any questions you may have to info@erincummings.com. You might even just hear the answer in a future episode. Remember, you are capable, you are courageous, and it's up to you to create what's possible.